How's it going, everybody? It is May 3rd, so that makes it a year, a month, and a day since I stopped drinking. And I just kind of want to give you a quick update. My life has done a complete 180 in a way that I never, even when I decided to stop drinking, I didn't think it was going to get to this point of just inner peace, happiness, self-motivation. Everything in life has just gotten so much better. I have a direct path now, something I always was jealous of people that go to school and they're like, I want to be a doctor, so they just run towards it, or I want to be a mechanic, or I want to be in environmental conservation. Something is going on with the otters and that's my shit. I want to focus on that. I didn't have anything like that, so I was really always jealous of that career path that people had. And now I feel like I've gotten this focus where I want to help other people have what I have now. And I didn't do this through AA. All I did, it's pretty simple steps. You more than anything, you have to be at the point where you want to stop drinking. You have to really, really want it. If you're not there yet, unfortunately, you're probably going to have to keep doing what you're doing until you get to that point, because rock bottom doesn't have to look like a DUI or a car crash or something. It can just be at the point where you're just tired of your life, tired of the way you've been living. Even drunk, your life sucks, so you have to absolutely want to stop drinking. And once you're at that point, then the rest is easy. Step by step, you have to take accountability. You have to tell yourself, believe and know that you're an alcoholic and that you really shouldn't drink anymore. And even just telling yourself or telling others, hey, I'm not going to drink anymore, or like, I'm not going to smoke weed anymore, whatever your vice is. But let's stick mainly to alcohol, because that was my thing in this. But say like, hey, I'm not drinking alcohol ever again, indefinitely. And people are like, oh, okay. But when you don't make that extra step and own the mantle of an alcoholic, you're still kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're not fully committed, because once you tell people that you're an alcoholic, it really hits home and it resonates, and people are like, holy shit, like that is something has changed, how I view that person, how I'm going to interact with that person. That's what you need. You can't tell people, oh, I'm just not going to drink anymore, because then they're just going to ask you later on, so are you still not drinking? And you can say no, and they're going to be like, cool. But if you tell them, hey, I'm an alcoholic, later on they're not going to be like, hey, so are you still an alcoholic? That's it, but that's what I'm saying. That's the commitment that you have to take, that lifestyle change. So you have, and by telling yourself that and knowing it and believing it and telling those closest to you, your friends and family, and if you have social media, what I did is I put it on social media, and it worked really well for me because it really got the message across quickly. All the other bartenders and stuff that I was friends with, everybody knew, I told everybody. But when you do that, not only are you also holding yourself accountable, you create a massive support network that, you basically get a hand pick, and AA didn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. And that's why I want to help other people realize that there is an alternative, and you should try doing it by yourself first. And I met a lot of sober people through AA that, quite honestly, they turned me off to the idea of sobriety because of the way their life was structured and kind of like how it looked. And I was like, if that was the alternative to drinking, I'm going to keep drinking. So, and I know that might sound bad, and some people say my dad's been in AA for 35 years, but I met a lot of people in AA that have been in there for a long time. You know what? They're white-knuckling it through the whole fucking experience, and that doesn't seem right either. That seems like really shitty quality of life. So anyway, you take accountability, you create your own support network, and then you have to be cool with letting people fall out of your life. Like when you tell them, hey, look, I'm an alcoholic, I'm not drinking anymore, people that are saying, and usually you don't get a whole lot of people, but there were a couple for me that are like, oh, what are you talking about, you're not an alcoholic. They basically try to downplay what you're saying. And anyone who is willing to try to steer you off this path is someone you don't need in your life, unfortunately. So you have to be willing with allowing toxic people to just kind of slough off of your life, and it's for the better, and you'll realize that some of the people that you had in your life, you only really had the common bond of alcohol. Once you take that away, sometimes you don't even like those people. So it just kind of is what it is. And then you're going to have a void at least with the kind of alcoholic I was, I mean, I wake up, I go straight to the fridge, crack a beer, and even the only time of sobriety I had really was me telling myself how much I hated myself and that I shouldn't drink in between the steps from my bed to the fridge. And by the time I got that beer in me, it was game over. Like, that's what we were doing for that day. And go to the liquor store, grab some of those little club mini Long Islands, get those back, and then before you know it, like, I don't hate myself so much because I got a fucking buzz on until the next day, until it started all over again. But so when you stop drinking and all that goes away, you have this big empty space of time. You're like, what the fuck do I do? And you kind of have to relearn how to have fun without alcohol, and you truly do have much, much better experiences and events, and you do have true honest fun and true honest happiness. But for me, I feel devoid with fitness. I highly recommend trying that first because it's such an awesome double whammy. Not only have you stopped drinking, especially if your beer or your alcohol choice is beer, really filling a lot of empty calories, and you're probably holding on to a lot of water weight. When you coincide stopping drinking with fitness, you're also releasing endorphins from your workouts. You're seeing yourself change physically, and that helps your mental change as well. And when you're not taking in those empty calories anymore, and you're also burning calories, you're going to be eating more and losing weight. Like, it's so many things that kind of happen at the same time, and it's a really good kind of like boost in that direction. For me, I adhered to powerlifting and kind of like supplement it with bodybuilding, but it can be anything for you. It could be hiking, it could be CrossFit, it could be Pilates, yoga, walking, fucking running on the beach, whatever your fitness is. Just find something that you like doing that makes you move, because it's a really good time to kind of coincide those two. And another great thing I like about fitness is that it's all about setting goals, very attainable goals, daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. And you're consistently meeting those goals, something that you're probably not used to doing when you're in that tornado and cyclone of drinking. So it's a really good way to establish and set new habits and a new way of life for you. And lastly, just know that it gets better. Coming from someone, I'm telling you, I'm still a bartender at 2 breweries, okay? And I was the worst alcoholic I had ever seen, save a couple, street bums. And if I can do this on my own, I'm not religious, I'm not going to AA or anything like that. It's all about removing the temptation of alcohol, because you have to have alcohol, see it for what it is, personify that as the poison for you that it is. It forces you to be that weak, small, depressed, selfish, gross little version of yourself. And every time you choose to drink, you are making the agreement with yourself, yeah, I'm cool with being that little shitbag. That's exactly what it is, And for 27 years, I made that agreement. And I finally got to the point where I was like, I'm either going to end my life or I'm going to start it. And I'm telling you, you can do this on your own. You might not feel like you can. All you have to do, I know it sounds stupid, but all you got to do is not drink. It's really the easy part, because when you are drinking actively, you're most likely, if you're, pretty bad alcoholic like I was, you're maintaining a multi-tiered level of deception and illusion to certain people. Certain people can know how much you're drinking at certain times, and sometimes you're drunk at work and you got to fake it off as like a sickness, and you're worried about your bills and how much money you're making and how much money you're spending, and sometimes you black out and how the fuck did I get home? You have all these different stressors and all these different feelings of regret, and every morning you wake up and you're disappointed with yourself, and you're constantly letting yourself down and you're letting others down, and you're risking getting in trouble with the law and all this fucking shit. When you just stop, don't drink. That's it. Just don't drink. You carry on with your life, day by day. Don't drink. Just don't drink. And you just keep doing that. And next thing you know, slowly but surely, that physical desire kind of gets pushed off to the side. I implore you to try to hold on to those physical desires at the end of a year. You can't. They just go away. They fall off. And you just have to arm yourself, have that little mantra in your head. It gets better. It gets better. it gets better. Because it really, really does. I cannot stress enough how much better my life is. I have true happiness, true drive. I enjoy life to the fullest. I enjoy cleaning my apartment. Like, I enjoy eating food. I enjoy everything. Feeling the breeze come through my window as I make this video. Everything is so much more appreciated. And in a weird way, you're really lucky. You're lucky to be an alcoholic, because you're going to be able to appreciate your life like normal people can't. Because for them, it's normal. For you, this is a whole new beautiful experience. And all you got to do is not drink. Just don't make the decision to put that in your head. Because you're going to get some progress. You're going to feel like you're doing so good. Man, I'm in the gym, or I'm writing my book, or I'm doing all these things, and I feel like I can do everything. I feel like I can conquer the world. I feel like I can drink responsibly. And you can't. Because that's why you're here, and that's why you're watching my video. You've tried to drink responsibly. Normal people don't map out the days of the week or the year or the month that they're going to drink. Normal people don't tell themselves ahead of time, okay, only 2 or 3. People that can easily and normally drink go to the party, have a couple, and then they're done. That's not you and me. Because when people ever ask me if I would ever revisit it, the answer is no. But if I'm humoring them, I'm like, well, if I were to, I think I'd want to get really fucked up, right? Because I only get one day, and that right there is an unhealthy way to view alcohol, to want to just get annihilated. So, and I wouldn't trade any of this progress in the world for anything. The way that I feel now is almost like its own drug. This hyper reality, this crystal clear sobriety, these true relationships that I have with people, and this confidence that you have. Like, it's almost like you just stick up for yourself, like you're proud of yourself. And when I made the decision to stop drinking a little over a year ago, I felt weak and small and pathetic and washed up. And I did not feel strong. It didn't feel courageous or brave or any of those things that people tell you at the time. But in time, you'll be able to look back at that decision and go, how the fuck did that withered little ball of me in that moment, still so thick in my addiction, in my alcoholism, make that decision and stick to it? And only in hindsight, in retrospect, can you be like, fuck, that was a strong, courageous move. So you might not feel it right now that this is super strong and courageous of you, but it is. It truly is. And if you stick with it, you'll be able to look back in the past and really be appreciative of it. I just can't stress enough how much better my life has gotten. I mean, I'm in the absolute best shape of my life, and it's effortless because it's like I just want to be there. It's not like, oh, I have to go to the gym. It's what I do now because I have this energy and I have this drive that is just so easily bogged down by alcohol. And since I am an alcoholic, I don't even have the small diminishing qualities of just a little, even a balanced alcohol diet, like even just having a couple, 2 or 3 or 4 beers a week still will slow your metabolism down, still will take that edge off a little bit. And so it really puts me ahead of people that do drink. And like I said, you just have to remove the temptation of alcohol. Because as I said earlier, I'm a bartender at 2 different breweries. I just got back from Orange County at my cousin's wedding. And I was at a bachelor party. And I was in multiple bars. And I had a couple non-alcoholic beers. But the idea of being on the level that everyone else was on is just not appealing. Nothing about it is appealing anymore. You start looking at it as this weird kind of like collective disengage that they do. And everyone wakes up and they all feel like shit and they all have regret and they all made bad decisions, and you're over there like, I'm cool, I'm fine, I'm gonna go swim and then I'm gonna go to the gym. Like, so I really hope that you stick with it and that you listen to what I'm saying, because now more than ever I understand the expression, if I can do it, you can do it. Because I was the worst alcoholic I knew, and I did it. I did it all by myself. And you can do it too. I didn't have any stronger willpower than anybody else. For 27 years I didn't. And just you have to get to that point where you're ready for it all to stop. So, and if you want to do AA, go for it. Like if that works for you, that's great. I'll give you a really quick rundown before I end this of why AA doesn't work for me. One, they think it's a physical disease. It's not. It's a pathway that we choose. It's a decision. And when you tell yourself that it's a physical disease, you remove the responsibility off of yourself, because in no way, shape, or form is something forcing you to walk to your car and get in there and drive and go drink. Like, that's you making those decisions. So it's just an easy way to slough off that responsibility. My dad was an alcoholic, or is an alcoholic, but he doesn't drink anymore. And when they're like, oh, it's a disease that I have, fuck you, no it's not. If it was a physical disease, I'm pretty sure I would still be drinking. So another thing I don't like about it is that they do inject religion into it. They can say that it can be your own form of higher power, blah blah blah. I've been to over 50 of these meetings. They're always religious, and to tell me that I can choose a rock or a stick or a leaf to be my higher power is quite honestly offensive. Like, okay, I'm gonna believe in a leaf. Fuck off. And it's over a 75-year-old organization. People have changed a lot in 75 years. And new information comes out, and a lot of times they rebuke that information because it doesn't go along exactly with their guidelines. And any organization that is, pushing information away that could potentially help their members just because it doesn't fit their little program is something that I look at very cautiously. And at its core, AA doesn't teach you how to be around alcohol. Like, the meetings I went to, all in here in Sonoma County, were always along the lines of, you have to find different things to do, and that means sometimes not going to that wedding, not going to that birthday party, or not going to your buddy's bachelor party. So you're just going to miss out on huge events in your life for the rest of your life. Fuck that. Learn how to be around alcohol. Remove the temptation of alcohol. And you know how you do that? You figure out why you're drinking in the first place, which means you got to be really fucking real with yourself. You got to be truly honest with yourself. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to drink all the time? Get down to the bottom of who you are. Be brutally honest with yourself, because you're going to miss out on so much of your life. And the other part of it is that, like, it's like a class. If I go to a class, I want to go A to B, learn all the information, get the fuck out, and do something else. I don't want to go to AA for the rest of my life. If drinking and going in bars is on this side, and not drinking, talking about not drinking, and being in church mess halls and basements for the rest of my life is on this side, it still seems like a really big imbalance of my life. So I wanted to stop drinking, not drink anymore, have that be something that I used to do, move on with my life, and do everything else. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm telling you, you can do it too. But if you're religious, if you like group therapy, if that just sounds like something you like, and you want to share, and that works for you, go for it. All I'm saying is that I think there's a lot of people that think AA is the only alternative and that they can't do it by themselves. Really, and you're not truly doing it by yourself. You create your own support network by holding yourself accountable and telling everyone, like, that is your support network. And you'll have people that you can always call upon. And so anyway, I know not everyone's going to agree with me or my methods, but it absolutely worked for me. It opened my eyes to the awesomeness that is life without booze, and I didn't have to subscribe to any kind of weird or what I consider kind of a cultish mentality. So anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. I'll probably post some more videos in the future. At this point right now, my long-term goals are I want to write a book about all this stuff and kind of things that I'm telling you, and I want to hopefully maybe one day have that kind of lead me somewhere, and maybe do a TED Talks, kind of getting into like personal training. I don't know, kind of have this rough direction, but at least I have a direction now. So it's truly been an amazing experience, and I really appreciate you guys watching my video. And hit me up if you have any questions or if you need any advice or anything. I don't know. All right, later, you guys.